Hey folks, Dr. D here. What we're going to do in this demonstration is we're going to look at the definition for boiling and what conditions are required in order for a liquid to boil. So you can see right here, I've got a flask. This is called a Florence flask, and it has water in it, and I've been boiling that water using the approach that you would expect someone to take in order to boil water. So I've got it on a hot plate here. I'm adding heat to it, and you can see that it's boiling quite vigorously. So what I'm going to do at this point is I'm actually going to take it off of the hot plate, and I'm going to allow it to cool down, and then I'm going to cause it to boil by immersing it into some ice water, which is really sort of counterintuitive. So let me go ahead, I'm gonna take this off. I'm gonna drop a cap on it there in order to seal it up, okay? So, and I want you to see that in fact, it did stop boiling, right? So when I stopped adding heat, it stopped boiling. So the first thing that we're going to do before I immerse it is I'm gonna go and pour water across it. So I'm going to take some of this cold water that's in here, some of this ice water, and we're going to pour it just across the flask. So here we go. We're going to see if we can cause it to boil. Look at that. It's boiling when I pour that cold water across the flask. So you can see it boiling in there. Okay, so the next thing that I'm going to do, I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to immerse it into this cold water, and I'll try and do it close to the front of the container here so that you can see it boil in there. And you should see it boiling quite vigorously at this point. And in fact, if I take it out, it will stop boiling. If I add more cold water across it, so we're going to pour more cold water across. See if we can cause it to boil again. Yes, in fact, we can. So by cooling this, we are causing it to boil. Now, what's going on here? Well, so the trick to this is that I put this rubber stopper on my flask before I immersed it into the cold water. And so at this point, we have to define what it takes in order to boil a liquid. So when a liquid boils, it will boil when the vapor pressure of the liquid equals the atmospheric pressure of the liquid. And of course, vapor pressure is a function of the temperature of that liquid. So what's occurring when I immerse this in this cold water is I am dropping the pressure inside of the container because the steam in the atmosphere above the liquid water is condensing, and it causes the pressure to drop, okay? So the consequence of that is that the water can boil at a lower temperature, and so that's what you're seeing occurring.